Yes, good evening, everybody, and welcome to NRL Supercoach off the bench. Bit of a cold and woolly night where I am tonight, but that's okay. We've got Teamless Tuesday to warm us up. Thank you very much for tuning in. I'm sorry we're a little bit later than what we normally are, but because both of us have been pretty busy, we've virtually got no idea what's going to happen. How are you, Roscoe?
Yeah, I'm doing okay. As I said, it's all my fault we're late. I had a massive day at work and unfortunately wasn't going to be getting home in time to do it live, but I'm doing this free reign. I haven't even looked at the team list yet, so I've got no idea what's going on. The only thing I do know is that I've got no hooker. That's the only thing that I know at the moment.
Life is pretty sad when you don't have a hooker. Apparently.
No. I need a cheap hooker.
Oh, you need one of these. That's enough of these bad jokes, bad puns and bad jokes.
You're frozen, Brad. There you go.
Oh my, yeah, you got me. Oh,
you're a bit crackly, Brad. Yeah, yeah.
All right, how's that sounding? All right, so
that's better.
Shall we kick in with our first team list of the week? I guess we'll go straight over to what is being named for the Sharks.
First game of the round. Yep.
Go for it.
All right. So for the Sharks, just the one change for them with Daniel Atkinson coming onto the bench for Billy Burns. Sean O'Sullivan replaces Cody Nicarima in the halves, who's out with a hamstring injury. Hammer's been named to start at fullback and backing up from Origin. Max Feagai shifts to centre and Jake Averillo to the wing. Mark Nichols is been named to start at prop after coming off the bench. And Trey Fuller has been listed amongst the reserves as he chased his first game since round 27 last year, Brad.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so yeah, you think there's any chance of coming in there?
Possibly, but where do they put him though? That's the question. Where does he play if he does? Because he's not going to play fullback over Hammer. So unless they're going to have him as like a bench utility role, I would most likely say that. Yeah, I think they'll probably ease him back, mate. To be honest with you, so he has played 2 games in Queensland Cup, so it isn't his first game back, but we'll see what happens. I really don't know, Brad, what's going to happen there.
You're going to hear that a bit today, folks, because these team lists really give us no indication of who is playing, right? But you're going to get that as we go through all of these. We've got very little concrete information really to give you. Now, for your hooker spot there, Ross, $520K, Cam McInnes. Why wouldn't you consider him?
I don't mind him, but I'm a bit hesitant about his minutes that he's been getting lately. He hasn't. I have to double check it, but I don't mind it. Dual position. The one I actually do really much like, and I don't know of his price, which I can check, is Blake Brayley as well, Brad. I don't mind him as an option for the hooker position either. Even Kurt Donohue's another one that we've spoken about before, is another one that I don't mind either. He's around about $530K, so he is cheaper. He's a cheaper option. Blake Bailey's at $618, so he's probably a little bit expensive, to be honest with you. Cam McInnes, I don't mind, as you said, Brad. They do have a good draw coming up. As I said, Don Hughes about $530K. He's very lowly owned as well, playing decent minutes at lock as well. I don't mind him. I think he's been averaging about 70 since he came into playing the lock role. So if you are looking for someone at that cheaper option against going Watson or Grant, I don't mind him either. But I think McInnes is not a bad shout either, Brad, to be honest with you. I don't mind either of them, but yeah, Brayley's a bit expensive, probably at $618K though.
Yeah, well, that $520K, that's what sort of sparked my interest. He's a little bit undervalued because of a couple of things that have occurred. He is worth a HIA every now and again. That's probably one of his biggest downfalls. He doesn't have a melon made for a runway. Let me put it that way. So he does put it in the wrong spot. Every now and again.
The concerning thing for me, Brad, as I said, is the minutes, because it's very all over the place. So last game against Melbourne, he only played 51 minutes. The game before, he played 72, but then the game before that, he only played 50. So he's probably he just seems to be inconsistent with the minutes. It's like seems to be maybe 53 minutes, maybe 59 minutes. I don't know if I want to be spending. I'd rather try and upgrade if I'm going to be spending that much money for a hooker, just to be playing anywhere from 50 to 60 minutes. It's just all over the place for me. I'm not saying it's a bad option, but I just think for that, maybe with the inconsistency with the minutes, you might have to look elsewhere, possibly.
G'day to Al Fisher. Thanks very much for tuning in, man. He's got a quick comment there. He says, "Hey, Brad and Ross, I'm getting a Donahue. He is a dual 3-round average, very similar, which it is, very similar to Watson. Why that's very pertinent, for those that might not realise, is that prior to 3 rounds ago, Donahue was used more of a bench utility role or sometimes a role, which he'd go on and off for. Whereas about 3 rounds ago, he actually got placed into the number 13 role, and there he has stayed. He hasn't moved, and his form has been great. So it looks like that number 13 role is his. And at number 13,
yeah. I was just going to say, just ignore his season average, because I know it only says it's 49, but just go off his last 3 games. As I said, he's averaging around about 70, because I think, up until the last 3 games, he's been playing off the bench, so he hasn't been getting many minutes. So I don't mind him as an option, to be honest with you. Very similar price to Ken McInnes and dual position as well.
Yeah.
So, look, whatever you want to go with, depends if you want the pod or not. Connor Watson we'll speak about later when we get down a bit further.
All right, the second game for the weekend, 3 o'clock, kick-off Super Saturday, Knights versus the Storm. Fletcher Hunt has won the fullback role there at the moment. I actually think if you have a look on for draft players, go have a look at your waiver, you'll pick him up if you're smart, because the rest of they won't look right down the bottom there, which is where he's located. So he could be a good waiver pickup, but certainly not for Classic, not whatsoever. Pretty standard team there for the Knights. Hastings and Cogger back into the halves together again. Jacob Saifidi, he did play last time around. Phoenix Crosland has gone into the hooking role, which I absolutely hate. It's putrid. He actually had been going okay at number 13, to tell you the honest truth, but Tyson Brazel's back, so he had to fit in somewhere. So what this means is Jaden Brayley, who had been killing it at hooker, excuse me, for some reason, the coach doesn't think he's killing it and has gone and put him back onto the bench and chosen Crosland over him. Crazy stuff.
Marzu back as well, Brad. Obviously as well for the Knights as well. So Schiller's dropped out. Thompson's back from his suspension. Obviously that's why Frizzell's gone to lock 2. So, yeah.
All right. Do you want to do Storm? I've got a bit of a tickle on my throat for a minute.
That's all right. Pappy's been named. He's good to go. Nick Ramini returns to the centre. Grant Anderson pushes out to the wing. So Kane Bradley drops out. Stefano's been named on the bench. But the Munster, Harry Grant and Trent Liero have been named on the extended bench. Alec McDonald will miss the match with a rib injury. Jack House listed as 18th man as he recovers from appendicitis. I will say this. I think Harry Grant and Liero plays, but I don't think Cam Munster plays. I think we're pretty safe to say that, wouldn't you think? I mean, after what's happened with unfortunate passing of his dad, I just don't expect him to play this weekend at all.
Yeah, it's a very confusing looking team. We're not going to know really much until a bit after lunch on a Saturday, we might have a bit of an idea of what's going to happen here.
Well, we may know Friday afternoon because they'll have to chop the team to 19 by Friday arvo. So that might give us a bit more of an indication. But good to see Pappenhausen back, obviously, as well. Be interesting to see if he does goal kick or not. But yeah, it's still a bit of a not great backline with Chan and Brown there. I still think that maybe Dom Young and Greg Marzu could pile on some points there against those guys as well.
Yeah, and I think Bradman Best might be up against Joey Chan. Wow, that's going to be an interesting little showdown to kick off Saturday. That's for sure. All right. The Saints and the Roosters. I pretty much. I would have thought I knew the result of last week's game featuring the Roosters, but now I just don't know. But anyway, what's going to happen here?
All right, so Valheim's been named to back up from Origin. Corey Allen goes to 18th man. Leilua and Stewart are back on deck. Molo reserves back to the bench. Fafita and Pacifica Tonga drop out. For the Roosters, Sam Walker's been named to play his first game, I believe, of the season. Billy Smith and Victor Radley also return. Rob Toyer, Connor Watson, Lindsay Collins, Angus Crichton, and Spencer Lenu have all been named to back up. Bad news for myself and the others who have Sandon Smith because he is named in the reserves as they've opted to go for Zach Docker-Clay on the bench instead, which I'm not sure why. But, yeah, that's the two teams.
Again, I'm not 100% convinced this is what's going to end up happening. There's a couple of weird ones here, like you just pointed out. Zach Docker-Clay, we've seen him commit a few errors lately. He had a few errors late there the other day that the Roosters really could have done without. So I honestly thought Sandon Smith, he's been going pretty good. I would have thought he at least would have got a bench spot. But even if he's a bench spot, he's still a sell. Ross, you're like me. You've got Starling and you've got Sandon Smith, as I do.
No, I've got Sandon Smith and enough.
Oh, okay. Well,
I don't have Starling. Yeah,
I've got Starling and Sandon Smith up in my hooker. I definitely will be looking for a replacement. Definitely. What's his name? Connor Watson comes straight into consideration there. They've named him at number 9. He has. I don't necessarily like him so much at number 9. Prefer if he was
a lock.
Yeah, I really would. Yeah, they were sort of playing around with that a bit earlier in the year, but anyway, that's the way it's looking like. Foketi slips in there at the number 12 spot, but
he's been doing a great job. I wish we sort of had a bit more job security on him because he wouldn't be the worst option to buy. I think I'd have to have a look, but I think he's got an okay PPM, Brad, as well for Ketty as well. But I'm just trying to think who because Sewell Wong's injured, right?
Yeah.
So he's replacing Sewell Wong.
Yeah.
I'm just having a look at him now. So he's 428K, break even at 27. He's got a 3-round average of 64. His PPM, he's not too bad, Brad, actually. It's a bit up and down. Yeah, roughly, yeah. So I don't know if he's an option or not. I don't really like the Roosters draw moving forward after this game. Go and check it out if you haven't yet because it's not great. They've got some really tough games coming up. I'm pretty sure of that. They've got, after they play the Dragons, they've got the Sharks and they play Melbourne. And then they've got Manly, the Dolphins, Bulldogs. So it's not the ideal draw.
Yeah.
But I don't know. There's not much else here really to speak about. Is there? I mean, Billy Smith's been named. Keep an eye on that because I know he was ruled out last week, and I thought they said he may miss maybe 2 games. So just keep an eye on that one as well. And then we've got Natuizawaze back on the wing as well, which is good for owners too, I think, as well. But yeah, it's pretty stock standard side, really, isn't it, that they've named, providing everyone backs up.
That Nafatu White, he's had a good couple of weeks. He's been named again as starting front rower.
Yep.
Almost looks like he's nailed that spot. He's certainly getting through some minutes and playing rather well there. All right, the Cowboys versus the Bulldogs. This one could be very interesting because there's a couple of players here, including Crichton, that's got a fair bit of travel involved to get back up to North Queensland in time for the game.
Mm-hmm. All right, so Cowboys have named Cotter, Dearden, Nanai and Robson all been named to back up from Origin. Cale Lawton is back from suspension on the bench. Murray Talangi has been listed amongst the reserves. Sam McIntyre and John Bateman are sidelined, both injured. For the Dogs, Stephen Crichton comes back from Origin. Matt Burton shifts back to 5'8". Galvin goes back to the bench. Max King and Kurt Mann have also been named to back up. Harry Hayes goes back to the bench. Bailey Haywood starts at lock. Turpin goes to 18th man. And obviously Jacob Carraz has been named. The big out for them is Marcelo Montoya is out 6 weeks with a neck injury as well. With Tuola will keep his spot in the side, obviously, to replace him. But yeah, other than that, that's pretty much it. It's pretty stock standard. I don't like Alvin on the bench. I don't know why they're persisting with that. He's either got to be in the starting side or not in the team at all. I don't know what you think on that, Brad, but for me, he just doesn't seem to do much for me off the bench as an impact player.
I think he needs. I think he's a hell of a player. I just think he needs more time in and around the team and get used to their processes. He's not looking good at the moment. His timing's a bit off. His pass timing and things like that. That's going to happen in time. But yeah, I don't know what you do with him paying all that money. What do you do? Enari Tuala. Well, the Bulldogs actually pretty rich with talent. I mean, they could have brought in Wilson as well. Blake Wilson's a good winger that probably would get a start at any other club. So they've got plenty of choice there. I wouldn't be rushing in. Look, Dearden could be a option at 5'8" to bring in. He could be one that. But is it too soon to bring him in? Would you rather have a look at how he's going to go, or what would you for 5'8" or getting it tempting there?
Well, it depends if you really need to plug that position this week or not, Brad. Like I've got to sell Metcalf, but I've got King Tonga there. I don't really want to have to play him unless I have to. But I don't mind him as an option. It's not a great matchup. That's the only thing for me. I don't see them scoring a lot of points against the Dogs. I know it is at home in Queensland, but we've seen the Dogs are pretty good defensively, so I'm not really too sure on that one. Another one to keep an eye on, Brad, is Jermaine Nanai too. If you're looking for a second row as well, I think you can do a lot worse than him. But again, I don't think I'd be trading in any Cowboys players this week, given that they're playing the Dogs. But Nanai's at 531K, so he's getting very, very cheap with a break even of 103. So you could probably pick him up next week, potentially for under 500K, which would be an absolute steal for him.
Absolutely, yeah. And of course, the other one is Ruben Cotter there on an edge. That's awful. I don't even understand. I don't even understand what he's doing on the edge. I mean, I know that Bateman's out this week, but surely they could have just put, I don't know, O'Donnell or someone else on an edge and had him at lock. He just doesn't do anything. His work rate, like, I can't believe, I was having a look the other day, Brad. I couldn't believe how cheap he was. I don't remember ever seeing him this cheap in Supercoach. 472K. Like he's just not relevant like he used to be at all. They used to start him in the front row, remember?
Yeah. He just doesn't. Yeah.
Front row, so a middle. Couple of questions or comments, Ross, here for you. Hayden, you probably just missed our discussion on that one. We we do like Kurt Donahue. Basically, he nearly came up as our number 1 pick, not slowly followed by Cam McInnes and maybe Watson because of the price, and their upcoming draw was number 3 on our list. That's about right, isn't it, Ross?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, there's not much between Donahue and McInnes for me. I think obviously Harry Grant, but you can't trade him. You can't trade Harry Grant in this week because you don't know if he's going to play. There's no point in trading him in this week if he isn't playing. So, yeah, interesting. We'll see what happens with that one.
And Joey has joined us. G'day, Joey. Ruck Infringement Podcast. Do go check him out. I always give him a plug. Joey says Sammy Walker is back, lads. Yes, Joey's a mad Rooster supporter. Oh, mate. You need him after last week, don't you? I mean,
go the Tigers. Sorry, Joey. Yeah, jeez.
You got to give it to him after the Tigers last week.
Give it to you, mate. I know. He's got to give someone, now that Timmy's not here, someone's got to cop it. So, yeah.
All the best to Timmy's been away with the young one this week. All the best, Tim. I hope you're getting a bit of sleep now and the young one has pulled through. Had a little bit of an issue down at the hospital, but many thanks to our great nursing staff, etc. And I hope all's going well there, Tim. All right, the Warriors versus the Tigers, mate.
All right, so for the Warriors, Tua Picky will line up at fullback for his first game since round 10. CNK's out with a knee injury. Luke Metcalf's obviously gone for the season. Tanner Boyd, oh God, starts at 5'8". DWZ returns from an ankle injury. Kurt Capewell's listed amongst the reserves and will be monitored after the decider. Jackson Ford and Halasima both into the starting side. Stiles Smith is on the bench for the Tigers. Luai will back up. Adam Dewey returns to the centres. Lalui drops out. Api Coruscant returns from a concussion. Tristan Hope goes back to the bench. Jack Bird comes in onto the bench after being laid out last week, with Lalili and Charlie Murray dropping to the reserves.
Tough match for the Tigers, this one, Ross.
Yeah, in New Zealand too. Very tough match. It's definitely not going to be easy. I was inclined to hope that T. Marie Martin would get that 5'8" spot, but they've obviously gone with Tanner Boyd. I don't hate it as an option, Brad, but goal kicking as well. If you are looking for a downgrade option, he's at $330K, starting 5'8", a halfback duel with the goal kicking. But yeah, look, what do you think of Tanner Boyd? I mean, apparently he's been killing it in New South Wales Cup. I'm pretty sure I'm pretty certain they're undefeated or something, or they've won some ridiculous amount of games in a row in New South Wales Cup, and apparently he's been absolutely ripping them apart. So I don't know.
His form in New South Wales Cup has been outstanding. In fact, it's off the charts. It's crazy. Go have a look at it if you want, and just go Google New South Wales Cup Tanner Boyd. He will come up as I did earlier. Crazy. But, yeah, there's a few ones here. Tua Picky in draft. Go down, pick him up if you can. Only a 3-week play, but he certainly got a 3-week play. The Roosters have about the best year on of any other team in the competition.
You mean the Warriors?
Sorry, the Warriors, yeah. I was looking at the Warriors and Roosters.
I knew what you meant, bro. It's all right.
The Warriors, guys, get into them because they've got a great run and they'll have a good run over that head-to-head final period as well. Just depends how many of these players are going to be relevant. Tua Picky isn't going to be relevant, so not really for Classic, certainly for draft. Roger Tuivasa-Sheck, I actually would have preferred him to be at fullback, and then I would have gone, very nice.
Oh, yeah.
Boyd, like we just discussed, nice downgrade, maybe. There's a few options running around, but it's just a bad week to change 5'8". So I'd like to see some of those options like Dearden and that play first before I made any further decision. And of course, Aaron.
I guess it really depends if you've got a backup 5/8 or not, Brad. If you're willing to take the hit or not. Like if you go Metcalf down to Tanner Boyd this week, you can bank 300K.
Yeah.
But do you really? But I don't know if I want to have Tanner Boyd and King Tonga as my 5/8. So I want to probably at least have one premium 5/8 there. So it's just a matter of whether I just take a hit this week and play King Tonga, or I just go for broke. I don't know. Obviously, what's his name totally traded in, which we'll speak about shortly, but Ezra Mam. So, I don't know.
Another one I will quickly mention, Jackson Ford. Now, when he starts in the middle position, so front row or lock, outstanding PPM, great work rate. Another good one for draft. It's just no real job security because they keep taking him out of that and putting him back to the bench and things like that. But Jackson Ford, he's about as cheap as you're going to get him, and he can rack up some really high scores at times. Nice. He would be a nice draft pickup, especially. Not much there for the Tigers for me or you to talk about, I don't think. Tristan Hope is continuing on with a bench so that might chew into. I know a lot of people were talking about Api Coruscant as their cheaper hooking option, but Tristan Hope played really well last week, and that scares me.
Don't do it. Just don't do it. Don't. Yeah.
Don't do it.
No. Don't get happy. No. He's not even cheap anyway. He's 545K. So he's not even cheap.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right. Wait a minute. We've got a few questions coming in. We might have to get through some of these ones. Just quickly because they might be relevant. Pompey might goal kick for the Wars.
Maybe.
Wow. Well, Chris, this is from Chris to Chiara. Chris, that's not a bad. Well, I tell you what, that's another good shout out for draft players. Pompey, he won't be very highly owned at all. So, go hit your waiver wires, guys, on that one. Jason Carter, hey boys, what do you reckon? Starling to Donahue.
And Smith to Hughes.
Yeah, we're laughing because we actually covered this question about 3 times now already. Yes, Donahue's about our number one at the moment as far as hooking options. Then McInnes and then Watson, and somewhere in there, maybe Grant. We're not sure. So, yes, we do like Donahue. And that's my one trade. And
Smith to Hughes.
Well, it's got massive upside.
Which Smith? I'm guessing Billy Smith, is it? I don't know.
No, it must mean he's got Sandon Smith in the...
Sandon Smith. Yeah. I like it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's got massive upside. So, there's no way you'd knock that one. Shauno, g'day, fellas. Go the Blues.
Yep.
Thanks, Shauno. And Jason.
Yeah, all good.
And all good. Jason just apologise for asking the same question. No, it's all good, man. No, we're happy to have you joining in. No, that's excellent stuff. All right, next game is up on the screen there, Ross.
Yeah, it's the local derby, Eels versus the Panthers. For the Eels, Talon De Silva's been named to start on the bench for his first game as an Eel. Charlie Geimer gets a start in place of Tuolangi, who's out suspended. Tuaviti returns from an injury on the bench. Bailey Simonson's listed amongst the reserves after returning from a foot injury in New South Wales Cup last week. For the Panthers, Ivan Cleary is playing mind games as well. He's named all his 5 Origin stars in the reserves. Make a final call later in the week. So at the moment, they've got Brad Schneider at halfback, Dane Laurie at fullback, Paul Anamoni there, Matt Eisenhuth and Isaiah Papali'i are all in this side. Obviously, we're not going to know anything till probably around about 3 o'clock on Saturday. Give us a bit more of an indication then. Other than that, that's pretty much it at this stage. I don't know what to make of this, Brad.
Oh, there's nothing. Like I said at the beginning of the show, there's no decision we can make on a team or any Penrith player based upon this information. You might as well not even put out a team list because it's The team that'll take the field will be completely different to what he's presented with us there. For Parramatta, Zach Lomax, I think, is the fifth most traded in at the moment, or he could even be a bit higher. I understand it, but he's about the only relevance really in that whole team, isn't he?
Yeah, I don't think there's anyone else there. Just maybe for your waivers for draft, Dean Hawkins, Jack Williams. I wouldn't say Charlie Goomer, definitely not. But look, the game's in Sydney. It's on It's on Sunday at 4:00. You want to think that the players are going to back up from Origin. I mean, the game's in Sydney. They're going to have had a good 3-day solid rest. I would imagine that they're going to want to win this game, Penrith, and I reckon all the Origin players will back up, providing they're all 100% and get through the game okay.
No, 100% there. Yeah, as I said, it's a bit of a crap one. G'day, Davey London, tuning in. Thanks, man.
Hello, Dickus. Hello, Dickus.
We always the help he gives us behind the scenes. I hope you're starting to feel a bit better too there, mate. All right, so the dreaded late game on the Sunday. Please tell me this is the last late game we have to endure on a Sunday night. Is it?
I hope so, Brad. I hope so. I haven't checked yet, but another derby. You got the Titans against the Broncos. For the Titans, Jaden Campbell returns from concussion. Dave Fafita's been named on the bench. Tino's been named to back up, as has Fodawaker. For the Broncos, Pat Carrigan, Payne Haas, and Shibasaki have all been named to back up. Reece Walsh is back in the number 1 jersey, pushing Selwyn Cobbo to the bench. Ben Hunt returns at hooker after missing 6 games with a hamstring injury. Hunt, Hoyter, Smoothie, and TLT drop out. Corey Pakes is out with an elbow injury. And Jesse Arthurs is listed amongst the reserves and could be a late call-up after missing last week's game with a rib injury. Talking 5'8", Brad, let's talk Jaden Campbell. What's your thoughts on him as an option here?
Well,
or do we think he's a bit injury-prone and concussions is a concern?
If I was writing down my team, which I do, right at the beginning of the season, Jaden Campbell was one of my ones I wanted to finish with in the 5'8" position. And for most people, he's still probably the one you want to finish with. 550K, you're not going to get any cheaper than what he is now. Does he have an upside over Tanner Boyd? Well, he appears to. You know, Tanner Boyd brings some of that form that he had for the New South Wales Cup into the Warriors senior team, and it could be. So anyway, you've got about 200K between the two of them. So how?
Go and check your waiver drafts for Xavier Wilson because he's starting the front row. They've got Parrot Carrigan starting at lock. So have a look at Xavier Wilson for your drafts and see if he's available because I think he's a great option. Another one that I don't mind as a trade in either Brad in Classic is Bo Firma too. He's been just quietly plugging along nicely for those who were looking for a second rower that can also be played in centre wing as well. And obviously Ezra Mam is quite popular this week too, Brad. I can't knock it. I just can't do it on principle. It's just played out and simple. I just can't do it on principle. As I said, I'm not saying he's a bad option, but I just think I don't know. I really don't know.
He is just about he's number 2, I think, on the list at the moment for most traded in, I think. He's not for me at the moment. I just can't go there. But you know, you can't knock the figures. Averaging over 70 at the moment. You know, why wouldn't you? You know, really. Yeah. But he's a fair bit more expensive. He's starting to get a bit more expensive than some of these other options that we've been speaking about, whether it be your Boyd or your So yes, he is starting to get up there in price a little bit. But you know, like I said, he's not the worst. Benny Hunt is also available at 5'8", starting at hooker.
Mm.
Wouldn't be bad for a waiver wire pick up in draft, but apart from that,
I think so.
Don't go near the classic, for God's sake. Don't.
It's a very odd bench, isn't it? Walters, Hetherington, Jet Ski, and Smoothie, isn't it? It's a very odd bench.
Look, how are we to know, right? Like we really shouldn't knock him, the coach here, but because for about 3 or 4 weeks he's been playing 3 hookers in his team, if not 4 hookers 1 week in his team. Now he's gone back to 3 hookers. Like, what other team can get away with that? So somehow Mads Maguire is getting away with it, and they're winning games with it. So,
well, Tyson Smoothie was playing prop 2 weeks ago too. Don't forget, or whenever it was. So he can play. He can play any position basically. So obviously as well. So, but yeah, for Feeder, well, I don't know what to say about him coming off the bench. What's going to happen with him? What sort of minutes he's going to get? Where he'll play? Other than that, it's pretty much, there's not really much else to speak about, I don't think, in this one, Brad, to be honest with you.
No, and you're just going to have to watch your team list prior to the game for your Payne Haas's and that. Payne Haas has a bit of cash to drop, though, so it's not going to hurt you if you don't pick him up this week. Quite a few people are, but I really wouldn't be going out there necessarily and rushing. You got bigger fish to fry, like your hooker in your 5/8 position that most people have. All right, we have a few little questions coming in, Ross. Here's a big one from Dave Sweeten. G'day, Dave. How you going? Hey, boys, tossing between Mam and Campbell for 5/8 for run home. Do you think Hunt impacts Mam scoring?
That's a good question. That's a good question. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Mam seems to be controlling the play at the moment, but maybe now that Hunt is back, he may become an extra playmaker. I don't know. I mean,
you might have to move forward a bit there, Ross. I got you're all far.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I don't know. I honestly don't know. Like, I don't know if he's going to impact him or not. Whether he, plays that extra running role or what he does, I don't know. If he just feeds it from dummy half, but look, I don't. Yeah, I like Campbell. I'm just concerned about concussions and injuries with him. He's one that I was tempted to bring in as a replacement for Metcalf, but I'm just really concerned about that. Yeah, I don't know. It's a tough one. I like I said, Brad, last week, I just don't like 5/8 position at all. It's very hit and miss. There's some good options there, but yeah, there's just not really anything there that I really, really like.
Davey London has written in and said that Man was his super pod last week. Well, we did sort of talk to him a bit last week. Davey's having a bit of a good year. He's not going too bad. So that might be.
He's sitting around 2,000, so he'll have no trades left soon, but that's all right. He's pretty happy.
Great trader. All right, Mark Munro. Thanks, Mark. Tuning in. Evening, fellas. Corey Jensen confirmed blood clot in his car. Haas dealing with pain in his back and legs. Potential bulging slip disc situation. Has been having physio and injections done. So, yeah, that probably sort of leads into exactly what I said a second ago, that Haas really is not if he does play, it would be limited minutes, you would think. So you would I would be happy to avoid this week. And he's got to break even over 100, I'm certain of it. So,
yeah, I wouldn't be bringing him in this week. If you own him, fantastic, but I certainly wouldn't be trading him in at this point in time. I traded him in a couple of weeks. I traded him in a couple of weeks ago and literally got nothing out of him, which is very disappointing. So we'll have to see what happens. Yeah, I don't know. Definitely not this week though. Maybe a week or two before you jump on Payne Haas.
Some of the most traded in players include Connor Watson. Yes, we spoke about that. Ezra Mam, number 2. Mark Alphabet. God, is that too late, you think, Ross? Is that a bit too late?
I do. I do, because, as I said, the draw is I just don't like the draw. I think I do think it's too late, and I think for 700K that you're nearly going to pay, I think you're better off looking at Lomax or Val Holmes instead, because at least there's a bit more upside there with the goal kicking as well for those two guys. I mean, look, he could score a gazillion points this week against the Dragons, but moving forward, like I said, with the draw that they've got, I just don't like it. I mean, I think it's not chasing, but I just, you just gotta take it. You just gotta look at that draw and work out whether it's worthwhile or not for me. But yeah, Lomax at number 4, I like. Nick Meaney at 5 makes no sense to me. That's chasing points at its best. As well, I think now that he's gone back to centre wing, he's definitely not a buy.
The Meaney one is a classic case of chasing last week's points. Yes, at 485, he sort of is undervalued. I will agree with you there. Yes, he's definitely undervalued, but to be buying him at this time of year. Don't forget, anybody you buy now, you want to be finishing the year with.
Yeah, if you've got plenty of trades left, well, if you're just playing fullback, and I'd understand, Brad, but go back and have a look at what he averages in centre wing. It is absolutely shit. It's like 40 or 50 average. It's not great at all.
And every now and again he pulls out a big one, which he does. He does have a big game in him, but even at centre. But it's not consistent. And like I said, whoever you're buying now, you want to finish the year with. Now is not the time. We don't have time or trades left to be able to shuffle a deck and keep chopping and changing. I'll get this one.
That's it. Yeah. I don't mind Gus at number 6. I've got a feeling, again, that he should probably come good. You probably won't get him as cheap as what he's there at 580K. Val Holmes is number 10. Again, don't mind him as an option either. Again, he's probably one that I'd probably look to go over Mucky Mark. So,
even in a crap team, and an awful lot of play goes through. All right. I don't think there's any more questions. Any more questions? Do throw them in. We'll wrap this up in a few seconds. Many thanks to our sponsor, Wedgetail Golf. There's the hat right there on camera screen. Thanks you to Wedgetail Golf. Do go check out wedgetailgolf.com. Lots of great golf apparel available there. And from what I've heard, things are going pretty good for him. So, get into it. Nicely priced, good stuff. Ross, anything else for this week?
No, that's it for me. Obviously, we'll be back Sunday night. Be a late one with the bloody stupid 6 o'clock game, but we will be back on Sunday night with a round wrap.
I can tell you one thing this week, there's going to be a huge variation in captain's choices. There's going to be people vice-captaining all sorts of players all over the shop. I'm not really certain, even looking at it now myself just quickly, if there's any definite thing standing out and jumping out at me. So anyway, thank you very much, everybody.
Maybe the only one I saw. Oh, you're right. Go on.
Yep, you're right.
I was just going to say the only ones for me really is maybe Teddy VC against the Dragons, and Pappy. I do like him against the who are they playing? The Storm? I can't remember. I like him as an option too, as well.
Chris has just sent in a quick question. Thanks again, Chris. CHC or Tulagi? Now, they're two we haven't discussed yet. CHC or Tulagi at 5'8". I've been seriously looking at Tulagi.
I've been looking at him too. Yeah.
Very consistent scoring.
I was talking to Dave about him yesterday about how well he's been scoring, and if you haven't yet, go look at the Panthers draw, because it is absolute mint, their draw coming up. They've got some really good games: Newcastle, Para, Tigers. It's a really good draw. So I actually don't mind Blaze Talangi. CHT, no, I don't like. Blaze Talangi, definitely, I like him as an option. But look, as I said, 5'8", he's just, look, I don't know what to say, Brad. I mean, you know what I think of the position, and I just think if you really want to make some moves, just go for a bit of a pod play, I think, Brad.
No, absolutely. I'm just going to have a look at Blaze. Just bring him up here. 550k, so not badly priced at all.
Yeah.
In fact, I could nearly jump from King Toggia to him without too much hassle. And only a BE at 57, so he's priced right at about, well, just a bit under his average. So he's averaging up in the 60s there. So, yeah, man, that's not a Blaze. Yeah, so we really
completely forgot to mention him, eh? He was one I went to mention and forgot about it. So, yeah.
Yeah,
Love it.
I don't mind that. Chris has said he still likes the CHT draw. Look, the Warriors, like I said before, do have a really good draw too. Into the head-to-head final. So, either one would be okay. And then of course you got the Tanner Boyd one. So who knows? Lottery now in front of us. All right. Well, that's it. Thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in. We've had an absolute stack on both YouTube and we've had a few on Facebook getting around as well. See you all Sunday night. Hopefully people will be able to tune in. Till then, rage straight your ass off and have some fun.
See you Sunday night.